Welcome to the channel. Today I have the BLUETTI EB3A. It's a 268 watt-hour power station, 600 watt continuous output, and 1200 watt surge peak power. I've had this a couple of weeks, just trying everything out on it. It's worked great. It weighs 10 pounds. It's a very small power station. It's not made to run your whole house or nothing, but it's good for on the go if you're camping, RVing, van life. It's good for at the house for smaller items like lamps, little heaters, CPAPs, oxygen concentrators, charging your cell phone, laptops, iPads, stuff like that. But so far it's worked out great. I have several 600 watt power stations, and I ain't gonna say this is the worst, but it ain't the best. But you know, different brands do different things. The light does keep going off. It's on a timer, so you know, it's just to save energy. So I apologize when the screen goes out. But it's got a nice little handle, and again, 10 pounds. There's nothing to it. It has a phone app, very well thought out, easy to control. You can turn on the AC, DC, the power lift mode, and the power lift mode is if you're running something, several things plugged up, and you exceed that 600 watt output, it'll lower the volts and lift the amps to keep everything going. And the best way to tell you to understand it is if you've got a lamp plugged up to this and your bulb's real bright, well, when you go above that 600 watt and it starts to lower the volts and lift the amps, that bulb will stay lit, but it dims a little bit more. It ain't as bright as it was, but it's still working. That's the best way to describe it. And in the app, you can control the power lift mode if you want it on or off. So just keep that in mind. But we'll go over all the features on here. Let's check it out. Again, this is the BLUETTI EB3A. Here is your AC power button. You've got two 120 volt output ports or receptacles. You have a light. It has a low, high, and SOS. I don't want to blind you, so I'm going to back out here. Over here, you have your AC button, or excuse me, DC. You have two 5521 barrel ports, plus your lighter port. You have your 8mm barrel port for your solar input, your AC input cord, your breaker right here. You have a nice screen. It shows your battery capacity. It shows you the time remaining, input, output, watts, 60 hertz. Up here you have a wireless phone charger. You have two USB-A 5 volt and a USB-C 100 watt. So that's your features. Over here you have your intake fan to cool it down. Over here you have your exhaust fan. Nothing on the back. And again, nice little handle. So that is your features. This also has a UPS mode, uninterrupted power supply. You can plug this up to the wall, then plug your laptop or desktop computer into this. And if the power goes out, you won't lose none of your data, because this will switch over when the power goes out and run your laptop or desktop. And then when the power is restored, it'll switch back over. The power grid will run your computer, and it'll then charge this up to 100%. The solar input is 200 watts, 12 volt to 28 volt input. It'll charge up with solar on a good sunny day in about 2.5 hours. Your car lighter port, it'll take roughly 4.5 hours to charge. The AC, you can hook the cord up. It'll charge up in about an hour or less. but you can also double your AC and solar, which will put 430 watts into this in roughly an hour. So that's pretty good for a little small unit. I've done a capacity test. The DC capacity was 78%. Fair, not great. But the AC, it was 86%, which really, to be honest, is pretty daggone good for a little unit like this. It ran my double door refrigerator, believe it or not, for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So that impressed me for a small unit like this. So in a small brownout, you know, if your power is off from 2 to 4 hours, you could keep your refrigerator going with a little unit like this. I keep forgetting about that light going off. That aggravates me. But hey, so far this thing's worked out great. I have no complaints on it. It's a good looking little unit. Again, 10 pounds. You can stick it in a closet shelf, you know, out of the way. It's not big and bulky. Carry it anywhere, literally like a small lunchbox. But let's compare it to some other 600 watt units I have, just for size comparison. This here is the R600 by All Powers. It is a 600 watt output and a 1200 watt surge. So exactly the same capacity as the BLUETTI. And you can see the size difference, which isn't much. This here is the Oops Exodus 600. As you can see, it's a little smaller in size, but again, a 600 watt output and a 1200 watt surge. So basically it is exactly like the BLUETTI. So again, the BLUETTI, it's a pretty good little unit. LiFePO 4 batteries, 2500 cycles to 80%. And a cycle is when you use your battery completely down to 0, charge it back up to 100%. That's one cycle. So you can recharge this 2,500 plus times before it drops to the 80%. So that means after 10 years, it'll just burn off the top 20% of your battery. So it don't mean you throw it away or it's no good. It just means if it'll run a device now, brand new, let's say for 10 hours, in 10 years, it'll run it for 8 hours. So that's still pretty good. You can't complain about that. But yeah, I have no complaints about it. It's a good looking little unit. You know, just something to take on the go when you're camping, RVing, traveling, or like I said, just for a little small brownout here at the house. You know, it's just nice to have a little heater, a lamp, you know, some coffee pots, not all, because they do surge quite high. But charging your tablets, your phones, again, CPAP, small oxygen concentrators, just small stuff like that. Drones, recharging the power batteries on your drones, remote control cars, anything like that, this is perfect for. Well, just wanted to bring this to you. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and thanks for stopping by. Take care of your family, take care of your neighbors, and God bless.